It appears the suspense over the future of Sheriff Mike Williams will continue until Thursday. City lawyers say they need more time to determine whether he violated the city charter by moving out of Jacksonville a year ago to Nassau County and thus automatically vacating the sheriff's office. The city council president had asked for a ruling by tomorrow afternoon, but that deadline has now been extended until 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon. News4JAX reporter Jim Pickett begins our coverage this evening. He's been following this drama since it began. Any movement, Jim, on which way this may be going?
Well, not at this point. I'm here in front of the Sheriff's Department, and it's here where the General Counsel's office, those city lawyers, met with the sheriff today, as we understand it, but they're not saying anything at this point. Yesterday, the sheriff alluded to the fact that this may not go in his direction, but what we could see happen is this eventually even end up in court. We found this today. This was filed by a local citizen today, Omar Ektat. He's basically asking a county judge to tell the sheriff to do his job. He also wants to see him vacate that office. Now, as I mentioned, nobody is talking at this point, but many people are saying we should see some action this week. We haven't heard from Sheriff Williams today, who had plenty to say yesterday, telling us he believes his move to Nassau County doesn't violate the city charter, and he has no intention to resign as sheriff. Today, we're told the sheriff met in private with city attorneys at the sheriff's office, where we weren't allowed inside. We also learned city lawyers need more time to look into the matter. And Council President Sam Newby, who over the weekend asked the city's top lawyer, Jason Teal, to get involved, gave them until Thursday afternoon. What are you expecting from all of this?
I really don't know because I've been talking to Jason all week, and he hadn't given me no clue. He's holding it close to the vest, so I don't really know what the opinion is going to be. But once I give the opinion, I'm going to read it first, I'm going to send it to city council, and then I'm going to send it to the media.
News4JAX political analyst and former general counsel for the city, Rick Mullaney, says there are two separate issues that could affect the outcome.
The first issue is whether the residency requirement applies, and then the second issue is there a cure? For example, the sheriff has expressed an interest to you and to possibly moving back into Duval County, not because he thinks he's required to, but out of an abundance of caution. And is there a solution here short of litigation, or is there one that would solve this? If not, the typical response or the typical approach under the charter is that the governor would appoint an acting sheriff, and there would be a special election no longer than 6 months out and no shorter than 1 month away. And most likely you'd see it in August.
And while we may not learn of a decision for 2 more days, council members have been weighing in. Today, Democrat Jacoby Pittman saying if the ruling from city lawyers says the move is okay, she would find that unacceptable.
I wouldn't agree with that because I think, when we're listening to the voices of the people and they entrust one of the top leaders in our community, that we need him to live here in town. We want him to always and continue to be abreast of what's going on, especially with all of the crime that we're having across the community. I feel that our community wants our sheriff to live here in town. They voted him when he was in town, and I think it is essential that he stays in town.
Republican council member Leanna Cumber, who's also running for mayor, says she respects Sheriff Williams and looks forward to hearing more about the residency issue. She strongly supports the charter requirements that the sheriff live in Duval County. Tomorrow could be an interesting day on this story. The reason being is there were 2 news conferences scheduled tomorrow that the sheriff was going to be at. Well, he's canceled those, and we're hoping to hear from the mayor tomorrow. Plus, the governor is expected to be in town tomorrow, and hopefully we can ask him about if he's aware of this entire situation. We're live downtown at the Sheriff's Department. Jim Pickett, Channel 4, the local station.